right, I'm Liz Copeland. Thank you very much for tuning in and checking out the program. We heard Digital Tsunami by Drexciya. Starting out the set of music, Harnessed the Storm is the latest release by Drexciya. We are currently listening to Wave Jumper, and that's something that was done mid-90s, 1995, a submerged release, and available exclusively there, I do believe. We are here with Drexciya in the studio. Welcome, Drexciya.
Good evening.
This is a rare opportunity and a real treat for you to come down here and talk to everyone tonight. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You've been working under the Drexciya name for over a decade now, doing lots of different projects. There's a whole kind of theme that goes along, a very, very conceptual theme that goes along with Drexciya. Of course, in particular, there's the water and the underwater kind of scene that goes on with that. How would you describe that and its impact on your music?
Well, basically, we use the concept with the water as being one of the most, we see it as being one of the most powerful elements on this planet. And what is the best way to describe this music that we do and take the personality of what the water represents to this earth and basically around the galaxy or whatever else, is to take on that type of personality in the way we approach our music or whatnot. So that's pretty much how we see things. So
the underwater, would you say it provides a certain kind of stealth or a certain kind of disguise to what you're actually doing?
Well, not really a disguise. It's just more or less give us our own territory. It's more or less being isolated to where you can go about your own daily business or whatnot and not really be involved. It's like a isolated community, you know, and it's more peaceful. If you look at some of the other documentaries of undersea life or whatever, this looks so peaceful down there. You know, it's just beautiful. No sunlight, total darkness. But then again, how do you really know that? It could be. There's a lot of areas that we haven't discovered yet.
Especially underwater. Which is the humans have a hard time understanding water, it seems like, and sort of working their way through it, understanding it, and utilizing it.
Right.
So I guess I can see that kind of running through maybe perhaps some of the music that you make. With the latest record, it's called Harnessed the Storm. Would you say there's a certain kind of turbulence focus on it?
Well, basically what happened was that over a course of a year, me and my partner basically was creating like one hell of a storm as far as like how many tracks we were making and how fast we were doing them, and under the different pressures and different things that was going on. And that's basically where the concept came from, was just like, it was just total chaos, you know, and we basically controlled the storm, you know, and basically within the storm was produced like 7 different albums, which was the first one was Harness the Storm, then it was the Translusion, and there was the Other People Place, and there's 4 other albums that's on the way out now. They're just in a holding pattern.
So there's a total of 7 albums that will be released.
Correct.
At the end of this, is there a full kind of idea that will come out?
Well, basically, in each one of the albums, it's a different feel. You know, like I said, it's something for everyone. You know, some of the music you might like, some you might not like. But by the time you get finished with all 7, it'll be like a complete feeling that you will have once you listen to all 7 of them together.
With I've noticed, especially with the Other People Place, it has a kind of a softer feel to it.
Right.
Than it's what we just started underneath.
Right.
Our voices here. Then some of the other music, it's very much more. It's almost I don't know, a little smoother,
right,
in a really pleasant kind of way. Sometimes with Drexciya, with Harness the Storm, it can be very colliding almost, right, in a great way as well. But they come from very different places.
Right.
And I can see that there are different ideas going on with that.
Right. And that's basically the reason why we put them under different names. Instead of, we just couldn't put it under the Drexciya name. We had to basically, you know, break it up and give it its own identity so it can live and exist in its own world. You know, because if it was under the Drexciya name, I don't think it would do so well because, you know, Drexciya has a different kind of feel and different vibe. It's still Drexciya, but it's in a different state of incubation and whatnot. So
it's the other people.
Yeah.
Why the mystique after all these years throughout this whole project? I could let you know a few reasons I have, but I'd like to know what you think.
Well, look, it's not mystique. It's just the fact that I'm just busy. I mean, look, if we have something really to talk about, like we're talking now about the 7 albums and just a lot of things that's going on, well, there's something to talk about. If there's nothing really to talk about, just sit back and enjoy and listen to what's happening. Keep your eye on record stores, keep your eyes on your friends or whatever else. Hey, have you heard, you know, what's going on or whatever else? The information will pop up. But, you know, anything beyond that, there's nothing to talk about. You know, just let the music do the talking.
Have you been requested of lots of different interviews if you've decided it hasn't been the right time to do those interviews?
Right, because there was nothing to talk about.
At that time?
Yeah, at that time.
Okay.
Like I said, I've done some, like I said, in the recent release of these albums or whatnot to, you know, let people know what's going on and so forth and so on. But after this is basically the last interview. For I don't know how long, it might be some years from now because basically I'm going back to work. So, you know, gotta go back to the cave, lock myself away like I usually do.
Now that the 7 albums are complete, time to move on to the next step?
Yeah, basically.
Do you have any idea of what that next step might be?
To continue on doing what I've been doing. So just lock myself away. Don't listen to other people's records. Don't listen to the radio. Stay away from my friends. Don't pick up none of their energies and vibes or whatever. So I don't want to suck it up like a sponge or whatever. So, and just basically just take it to the next, whatever the next page is. You know, I don't think it's the next level, and I don't see it as like taking it to a higher level of a mountain or something like that. Just turn the page, you know, and keep on to the next phase of whatever is going to be there. You know, nothing is planned. You know, as far as what we do, just like life, you never know what's going to happen. You know, it's very spontaneous. So you should just live your life like that. You know, to your best ability. You can plan some things, but you just shouldn't plan it. Just do it.
There are certain ways that people seem to perceive you as being very much intentionally on low profile. Live performances don't seem to happen. People don't see your faces. What they hear most of the time is your music and something like this, your voice right. Tonight. So there's that kind of you know, what's going on with this? Do you feel it's never been the right time to do a live performance? Will there ever be the right time, or will Drexciya ever have the right time to come out and to say, this is who we are?
Right. There will be live performances, but right now, still a lot of work to be done. You know, I just recently discovered the new land of, well, it's not exactly new, but I just discovered Atlantis again. Atlantis down in Atlanta, Georgia. So, yeah. So.
What's going on there?
Well, it's a lot going on. The weather is better than up here, I'll tell you that much. It's cold up here.
Slightly warmer there.
It's a whole lot better. Yeah, so. But, so.
Any unexplored territory down there?
Not yet. I just put the flag up, so now I have to go out and look a little bit more, so.
Let it come to you, essentially.
Yeah.
That seems to work.
Yeah, but like I said, back to the question about the concerts, there will be concerts, but it just haven't been the right time.
Okay.
You know, like I said, as far as even leaving the country and so forth and so on, it's just been too many things that I had to do here, you know, to really make sure things was right before I actually leave here. But it's coming soon.
So you are leaving here?
Yeah, as far as like doing the concerts, you know, and things like that, and, you know, I'll be back.
Something else that I guess in a general kind of question that I'd like to ask you about is how you perceive the general state of electronic music.
Level to where you have many different forms, and really I'm not too concerned with it, because what they do on a commercial level and anyone else do, that's not what I do. That's not into my category. I can only be concerned about what I do. You know, so if, say for instance, Moby was making, 300 million copies or whatever else, well, that's what Moby does. And you have to respect it. That's what, that's his area. Okay. I don't do what Moby do, so I can't, there's nothing really I can say about it, but just give people their respect, but if someone happened to come into my area to what, the kind of music that I'm doing, and happen to come in and make a little bit of noise and all the rest of it, then I can, feel the competition and all the rest of that and not be looking for the challenge for it, but even then, it's still not necessary. There's enough room for everyone. If you put in the hard work and the dedication to what you're doing and your concepts and everything else into it, you're going to be successful no matter what. But you got to remember, whatever you do, you're going to have to give something and compromise when it comes to the business side of things. You might have to do some things that you don't want to do in order to get that type of money or exposure. Now, if you don't want to do those things, then don't expect the money. Don't expect that kind of fame. So
you've managed to avoid those kind of pitfalls with what you're doing, the various different projects and things that you've mentioned earlier about going and signing to different labels for different projects, not as a contractual kind of multi-album kind of situation necessarily, but deciding and calculating this is what we need to do with this label, and in a way it's very much a hero kind of thing to do for a lot of people in the electronic music industry, to sort of giving them the model, stick to it, do what you do and do it best. It may not be something that is going to get you on one of the major labels. That may not be where you belong. You may belong on a different level and a different kind of strategy involved with that.
Right. I mean, you basically have to analyze who you are and what you're about, what you're going to give up, what you're willing to do and not do. If you're on the underground level and that's where you want to stay at, then stay there. Then you have no complaints whatsoever. If you don't make X amount of dollars, then look, you're only making underground money. And if you're happy with it, be happy. Because then it's all about the music. Make the music. There's no complaints. As far as whatever, if you want to be on a major label, you have to do the things that it takes to be on a major label. That's the bottom line.
So, sorry.
Go ahead.
Would you complain if somehow what you just did and the way that you do it just somehow became popular?
No, because the simple fact, I'm still on underground level, and the success will come from my hard work that I put into it. And if people so happen to like it, because if a million people happen to like it, well, they like it because it's good music and what I did. It wasn't fabricated to the point to where, I'm flashy or whatever else, and I didn't do certain things that you have to do to, become that way, such as do 1,000,001 shows back to back and all the rest of that. I'm still doing things the way I normally do it. Make my music, do the concepts, and give it to the people the way it is. And I think that's what people really like. Just give me the music, forget all the rest of the stuff,
So in that line of thought, just one last question on it. What do you see then as the next thing that needs to happen for the music?
People just need to respect a little bit more of themselves and dig more into themselves and pull it out and be more of who they are and believe in what they do. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about the other major companies or whatever else, or who has what, who's doing what. It doesn't matter. Just forget about it. Put in the hard work with the music. The perks will be there. The money, traveling, and all the other things is going to be there. So that's basically what needs to happen.
Can we break down some of the projects that you are involved with currently? I don't know if you feel comfortable doing that, but there's obviously Drexciya. You mentioned Translusion as well. The Other People Place, we kind of defined that a little bit as well, and a little bit with Drexciya also. And there's some other projects as well that are coming out soon. And I don't know how much you want to talk about those, or if you want to wait and let people find out about them as they come out.
Well, one of the groups I'm just going to mention is called Abstract Thoughts.
Okay.
That's basically the only one I'm going to speak on. And then, of course, my partner, he has a host of different, solo projects or whatever, but I'm not going to really mention them. I'm pretty sure people know, but, I'm not going to mention them for his behalf, so.
Okay.
But it's quite a few.
Did you want to talk about the feel of them and we did once again for the Other People place in particular, did you want to talk about their meaning into the whole, what each of them would contribute?
Well, actually, that's not for me to say.
Okay.
It's up for the listener. It's the same way it's been from day one with all the Drexciya music. I can come out and I can say, okay, this is what it is. This is my intent. Okay, well, what if that person listened to the record and that's not what they feel? That's not what they see. So basically, I do it like I have from day one. I don't say anything about it. You listen to it, and you tell me, what do you feel? Because that's the way I made it. It came out of me and out of my partner from our soul. We dug it out of there, the one take, and the way it is, it's a masterpiece, it's a work of art, and the energy is captured. And whatever energy is projected, capture it, see what you feel, because everyone is going to interpret it different. Like I say, a picture has 1,000,001 stories or whatever. That's basically what it is.
It's kind of a sense of urgency in a way with all of these releases being put out at once. Can you explain that?
It's not really a sense of urgency. It was just like a runoff. Just filled up with energy and it had to be released. So it was just explosion. Just let it go. Why should you stop the flow? If it's coming out, let it go.
Okay.
It's not like it's going to happen all the time. So go with it and see what happens.
There have sometimes seems been gaps with the music, a couple of year gaps in between,
right.
and then all of a sudden it's great. It's great news. But wow, 7 releases.
Because sometimes, in those shutdown periods, you have to shut down in order to try to get a new direction, to get things together, because things change all the time and you have to change with it. You can't keep with the same thing. You have to grow. The same way that you thought 5 years ago, it's not the same way you think today. So you have to change things, and things that you might have done in the past where it's a mistake or whatever else. Well, today you might not really feel that way, and you'll realize I made a big mistake or whatever else, so that's basically what that was about.
Okay. We played Sun Ra earlier in the program, and his theme just kind of spaces the place. If Drexciya had to choose a theme, do you know what that would be?
An infinite journey through inner space within, and find out what's inside, the beauty that's inside, and to bring it out.
Although for a long time you've been based in Detroit, it's you go beyond that. It seems like you reach this level where you say, we're not necessarily from anywhere except our own world.
Right.
And that's what Drexciya is all about.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. People will always associate you with Detroit. But
that's fine. That's fine. But, I try not to take on that characteristics, because, I just don't want to ride the image of a place or attitude or personality. I want to do something that involved a total concept, to where it was something that was different, and take people somewhere else instead of giving them the same thing that they see every single day when they step outside the door. Yes, I was here, I'm born here and all the rest of that, but still I want the music to give a different feel. That's the reason why I isolate myself away from everyone, and even the music. I don't enjoy myself. I don't go out to clubs or anything, because I'm dedicated to what I do.
Do you call that not enjoying yourself, or is it something that
I'm not enjoying myself. I don't get a chance to get out. I don't do anything because I know I guess you say it's almost like a phobia. If I go out, I'm going to pick up something. And I don't want to pick it up. I don't want to pick up other people's ways of doing things in the music and so forth because I don't want it to be, to come inside my music, into my world and make it unpure.
Any kind of influence.
So, yeah.
Some people, the reason why I asked, some people would enjoy it by not going to clubs and staying home. So, that's interesting. But so it's an actual sacrifice that you feel you make in order to produce what you do.
Yes. I make a very big sacrifice, because one of the big things that a lot of Detroit artists, and not just Detroit artists, but any electronic music artist, you have a lot of problems when it comes to social status with your family and everything else because people don't really believe in what you do. And because if you really dedicate it, you're giving up a lot because people don't believe in you. No one even thought that this stuff could even get to the point to where it said no, thanks to Juan and the others and whatnot from day one. And then the other guys, who backed them up, such as myself and, Mike and the whole crew and everyone else. It's just too many to name. And a lot of people here in Detroit and family members don't even know of what's going on. But yet still they have that big festival that's coming up in a couple of weeks. And I'm, in a way, like I said, I'm thankful that happened to where it's like some kind of recognition to where it grew to that point. Mm-hmm. But that situation with this music festival thing is losing control. And more power to Carl. That's all I can say. I'm a full supporter. And if you don't have anything to do with it, the hell with the festival. So that's the way I feel about it.
Why come to the airwaves now and talk? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you've done radio before.
This is the first and last. And plus, I'm leaving Detroit too, so.
So this is the time.
Yeah, basically.
So lots of people don't know your voice.
Yeah. And another reason why I wanted to really get on the air too is because I know it's a lot of people probably listening for probably like friends or whatever else, and they want to know why am I leaving and all the rest of that. Well, I'm not leaving here because of people and so forth and so on in the music scene and all the rest. I'm leaving because of a health reason, And some of my other friends that I know, and they know me, whatever, they know what my health problem is or whatever else. And yes, I have to relocate to a warmer climate, because I'm going to be shut down for probably about a year, 2 years or something like that. And that's basically why. So
we wish you really good health with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. A question that I asked earlier, and I'm not sure if I got a full answer, and that was, will there ever be a time for Drexciya to come right out and say, we are Drexciya, this is what we've been doing, this is what we would like to continue to do?
Well, I don't think so. I think it'll be just in the music, and if someone happened to really, really appreciate it and take it to that level, then we'll talk about it and discuss that. But I'm not going to say anything because I always let the people do the voting, and they tell me what they want, and if they like it, they like it. If people don't, then someone else will. And I'm not going to push it on anybody. So.
Is there anything else that you'd like to leave with everyone about the music or about the music in general outside of Drexciya?
Just believe in what you do. Keep your confidence, no matter how much people get down on you and they don't want to support you, and just got to keep going and stay strong. Everyone have different issues and different problems in their life, but you got to keep strong. And like I just really had some real inspiration from a friend of mine or whatnot I just seen yesterday. Everyone know him as Mr. Shake,
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of inspiration with him because that guy can talk. He can go. He has
great.
A lot of life in him, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so I can I get a lot from that guy, and I haven't seen him in a long time and really talked to him, but it really felt good to really talk to that guy, past couple times just before I left here. So, but I plan on staying in touch with them though.
How can people find out about your latest projects? Is there any place they can go? Anyone they can contact in particular? Maybe Submerge or?
No, record stores.
Record stores in general. Okay.
Friends, people.
Just keep your ears to the ground.
Yeah, something like that.
To the underground.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm all over the place. I'm wave jumping all over the place to different places. So, you know, and as soon as the production company's up, Dimensional Waves. Excuse me.
Just tell us about that.
Well, Dimensional Waves is just the production company that we're putting together, and it's basically just set up to do a lot of wave jumping to different companies and whatnot, and just putting out good music. Period. That's what it's all about. Just putting out good music.
And you have no plans of stopping that?
No. Not till I die. That's been the motto. Experiments must continue, even until death.
We have a lot to look forward to then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But even if I die next week or whatever, there'll still be a lot of music left. I have a nice stockpile left.
You have plans, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I definitely, I hope everything goes very well with your health, and that you are in good health very soon.
Thank you.
And I appreciate very much your stopping down here. And I don't want to cut you off. If you'd like to say anything else, I'd like to allow for that opportunity.
Well, basically just love each other. Love the music. And go for it. Whatever your heart desires.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Drexciya on WDET FM, Detroit.